Hi everybody and welcome back to Dragonborn Industries, where today I'm looking at this. This is the Patrol Class Shuttle from Battle Systems. So Battle Systems and we have recently been chatting, and they sent us out a load of stuff to help us out with our Starfinder stream and with our Bloodpunk stream, which is all this 28 to 35 millimeter terrain that is very, very modular and usable throughout both campaigns. And obviously I'm going to be unboxing a lot of the sci-fi stuff here, but yeah, there's a link in chat. Just going to get straight to it. Please go check them out. But good morning, everyone. I'm going to take off my hat. I am cold, so I might have to go back on in a little bit. But I hope everybody is doing well. The two core sets they sent out were bigger boxes, and we did very quick unboxings of those, and they're all over there and ready to be used. But I wanted to show you guys these, which are the individual, essentially, packets of terrain. And one, the minimalistic packaging is great, because it literally is a plastic sleeve, and inside there is everything that you need to put these things together. They are no glue required, but I do have some glue here to do a few extra little things and make sure they stick together. And they are really, really fun little bits of modular terrain. So I'm going to jump straight into opening this up, getting it all put together, and we're just going to sit here and chill out. So if you've got any questions, shoot them out. If you want to just hang out and chat, feel free. I have got with me, obviously you don't need glue for any of this, and it is all punch card stock, so you can just pop it through with your finger, but I have got some glue, which I use for things like the little crates to keep them all together and stop the bottoms from falling out. We've got a marker pen, which I'm going to be using to go around the edges of each individual piece. That way I'm going to blackline it so that it gives it that cartoon edge look to it. I really like that. And then just in case I need it, I have got a scalpel blade there as well. But I hope everybody is doing well on this Wednesday lunchtime. To give the plastic wrapper, let's just get rid of that straight away. But let's give it a quick overview of what they've written, because they've done like a little blurb on each one of these, and I really like it. So, the Patrol Class Shuttle is a decommissioned galactic core craft that was designed for high-speed maneuverability. It is a solid, reliable craft popular with traders. It can be used in any 28 to 35 millimeter sci-fi game and is printed in full color, so no painting required, which is the other saving grace to this. Now, don't get me wrong, I print, paint, and I get Richard from Warrior Prince to print us a lot of stuff and paint it, but it's nice to have stuff that I don't need to worry about sometimes. So having Battle Systems on board is freaking awesome. And then what you get inside is one shuttle with a removable roof, which means it's got a playable interior, pilot's chair and boarding ramp, 5 equipment tokens, 1 cargo crate, 8 damage counters, an expansion rulebook, and mission briefings. So obviously this is to go with their core space game, which is obviously written up there, which is a game that Battle Systems came out with first. And although it's designed for that, it is in fact modular across so many different systems, hence why they sent it to us for Starfinder, which we're really looking forward to getting into. Right, so there is the Patrol Class Shuttle Salvage Trade Adapt Survive little booklet right there. Oh, so look, you can see how it's set up for missions and stuff like that. So let's have a look. The overview. It's actually an expansion to the core space game. So the Patrol Class Shuttle is a mini expansion of the core space for core space that introduces a brand new piece of terrain and mode of transport, the shuttle. The shuttle can be directly integrated into your existing missions as detailed below, and this booklet also includes 2 new single crew missions involving the shuttle. One for the original game and one for Firstborn, which is another version of core space, I believe. I actually need to look into core space a little bit more. Hey Hagley, how you doing? Hope everybody's doing well. You at work today? You just got up? What's going on? I know that obviously there's a time difference. I'm going to bring up my stream manager there so I can see the chat a little easier from this side. But yeah, we're just looking into this expansion and terrain for the shuttle, which is for core space. Obviously, like, that's the map icon. It talks about deployment using the shuttle, post-game sequences, emergency extraction, so all the different missions. Then we've got the assembly over here. So there's a video tutorial for the assembly, can be found at battlesystems.co.uk. We've got a mission briefing for Junkyard Challenge. Then we've got objective tokens and ship's parts tokens. Each of the core set and the frontier set came with a 2x2 mat as well, which that looks like that's what that's played on. And you can see where they've set up the walls. You can see all of the individual joiners, you can see the walls, you can see where they put crates and mission tokens. Very, very, very awesome. That's not just a piece of terrain, you're getting access to what games you already have. So if you're playing Core Space, it'd be worth getting it for this. 3D Warrior Prince 3D. I'm supporting Mew and Mewtwo. Oh, is that the new ABC 3D? Is it ABC 3D? Yeah. Game card ones, or are they the poker card one? Pokemon trading card ones. Nice. What else have we got in here? So we've got mission briefing for Operation Evac. So again, more mission briefings for a secondary mission you can do with Core Space, with this expansion. And again, we've got that 2x2 map up here with the excess stuff? No, I suppose how to set up that particular game on there. Oh, I'm going to have to dive into Core Space, aren't I? Very, very awesome. I think the minis are perfect for Starfinder as well. So, on the back there, it says the Patrol Class Shuttle is a Oh, it's the same thing, okay. Although there's a bit more, actually. Although technically the atmospheric vehicle takeoff and landing AVTOL vehicle, comparable to a trader ship due to its powerful electric motors, doable as a supplementary ion drive, it's only designed for short hops and not advised for long-range inter-system travel. Its sturdy construction means that it can safely pass through Lagrange Point, Warp Gate, if these... Oh, okay, that'll be a named thing. Lagrange Point, Warp Gate, if need be. Although the Patrol class is now an older model, it is solid, reliable craft, popular with traders. Its popularity is also widespread with anyone who needs a nippy runaround, such as smugglers, gun runners, making it a favourite target of the Galactic Corps patrols. The Galactic Corps themselves are not immune to the charms of their former workhorse, with Galactic Corps agents working solo or undercover favouring the Patrol Class Shuttle, as it is easy to maintain when away from the Galactic Corps machine shops for long periods of time. See, little blurbs like that make me want to go and play the game. Hagley, back to work. Just wanted to stop in and say, oh, no worries, Hagley. I hope you're doing... Oh, I keep saying I hope everyone's doing well. But have a great day at work. Drop in and out as and when. It's kind of what these streams are for. Love the map, nicely laid out. Yeah, I think that, Richard, I think you're right. Like, having something like that when you have the Core Space and the Galactic Frontier, as well as the Galactic Core and the Frontier Core, let's go that way, core sets, and it lets you know how to set up a map and where to put things. I love that. Very, very awesome. Very simple to read. Oh, I'm going to end up buying Core Space. I can already tell. So, let's have a look at the punch boards. That one's already through, which is even better. That's the back ramp, which again, I'll say it again, the artwork is done so that it is both sides, so that things are playable on the inside of things like vehicles and buildings, as well as stuff like that. And since that one's... Oh, God, I cannot talk today. Since that one's already been punched through, I'm going to grab my marker pen, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So, I am just going to go round, and I'm basically colouring in the edges. And it's something I haven't done with all of the core sets yet because there was so much stuff. And what I ended up doing was punching through all of it first, and then realising I probably should have done this as I was punching it out to save my brain from exploding. But what this does is it just gives you those definitive lines instead of the cardstock that's been pressed together. And it's something they've done in their videos. And it was something suggested to me by Tom, who I believe is in charge of marketing at Battle Systems. And it's something that actually, once I did it, and I did it on a few of the terminals, I was like, oh, this makes a huge difference to how it looks when it's on a table or when it's set up. You got to be careful not to go too quick and go over the edge and put a big line on one of your pieces of terrain. Not that I've done that, but I've done that. Fluff says that's really cool. I think so too. I think it's very, very cool. So that one's going to be the background. And I'm probably not going to bring up the instructions for this. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to punch out the small cargo crate to begin with, because I want to show you why I've got glue out. So that one there, actually, this is a good thing to show you. That one didn't quite punch through all the way. Whoop, let's go to there. Which you can probably just see on there. So that's why I'm going to use the scalpel, just to make sure we take off any of that excess without delaminating, hopefully, the rest of it, all going through onto my table. I probably should have brought a cutting mat over. Yeah, let's go get a cutting mat before I scrape into the table. In 2 seconds, guys. I complain at people leaving drinks on here. I may as well not scar it myself. Right, so let's just quickly. There you go. So what I don't want to do is just like rip a bit off and then end up pulling away some of the artwork from the actual pieces. So a good way I've found with the crates is when they don't have the arrows on them, which these ones do actually, I think they probably all do. So there is on some of the sides there these little arrows, which are yellow against yellow here, so it's hard to see them. There you go. And that'll tell you which way up. But there's also this like decorative pattern that you can then slot together with the other one. And then you can line it all up. Corriente, the artwork looks phenomenal. Yeah, it really does. As somebody who's done their marketing and worked around stuff like that, I'm sure you can appreciate that, like, yeah, the graphic design work that's gone into these particular terrain pieces. So all 4 walls slot together like so for the crates. And it's artwork on the inside too. So you can see that like padded crate. That one I believe is the lid. So there should be, there it is, small cargo. That one's for the inside. Where is, unless that is just the very end bit there. Okay. Just having a look through everything to see if I can see any more of the crate stuff. Side, 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 side. Lid. Oh, I should have another one of that. Maybe it's underneath here. There it is. So, that one there is the little square that's going to go through. I tend to put it in from the top, so you can tell which side's the bottom, because the inside is this padded look, where the bottom is the same colour as the crate. I put it in, and then push it flush while it's flush with the base. But this is where I'm going to grab my glue, and I'm going to put a little glue dot to either side, and then I'm going to put the secondary floor in. Now we've got a nice usable piece of terrain. Cargo crate there. I should have blacklined that, something I didn't instantly do. I got too excited showing you what was going on. That's that one over there. So, hey Mike from the Mist Lounge, how are you doing? We're here to unbox and put together this, which is the Patrol Class Shuttle from Core Space. I thought it was just terrain. Turns out it's actually an expansion to Core Space, which is a sci-fi miniatures game, and it comes with briefings on missions and shit, which is freaking cool. Very much on board with that. So I'm going to dive in to Core Space because I want the minis. So that's putting the crate together. I probably should have gone around and blacklined all of that. And actually, let's show you why I prefer to do it beforehand. All these little excess bits here become a little bit finicky to do when you've got to hold it in place. And there's a real chance you can go over onto, like there, I've gone onto the corner of that crate. And it's just never going to be quite as neat. So I will probably leave that one as it is for now, and then go from there. Let's bring that camera down here. Amazing, looks super cool. It really is. There's a link at the top of chat. Go click on that. That lets them know that you come from us. There's not an affiliate code or anything. It literally is just, it tells them that you come from us. And yeah, go check them out, because they do D&D terrain, Mike. And we've got things like the chapel, the graveyard, which we've got for Bloodpunk. And again, it means you don't have to paint, and you can then flat pack it if you don't want to glue it together, because it doesn't need glue to stick together, and then you can store it away. Because I know that like us with your studio, space can get a little bit tight. So I'm going to take these big wings out here. I'm just going to punch out each one of those little turbine holes. And it's going to be hard to blackline the insides of that there. So I'm just going to get rid of all my dice over there. I'm going to keep my crates and my built stuff inside the dice tray over here. So, ooh, still got a few bits on there. I also use other bits of punched out card to punch out the smaller holes, if needs be. So I'm going to go around the inside now, and I'm using the side of the pen rather than the tip, just because I don't want to slip. So what are you all up to out there? I know that Richard said he was sorting out Mew and Mewtwo for his Pokemon cards that are being printed. Oh, there you go, slipped. But luckily, I got there in time. The other problem I'm going to have, if I'm going to try and get around the insides of all of those, it's not going to be all the way to the edge there, actually, because I can't get the tip of the marker pen all the way to those fine points. So I might have to leave those ones and get them with a paintbrush later. But as long as we go around the outsides, which are the bits that people are mostly going to notice. I did have a bigger permanent marker that I could just run the cardboard along, but it was just pretty old and pretty dry, so we're now down to a fine point Sharpie. If there's anything in particular anybody wants to see or ask about, then feel free to drop that in chat. Obviously, if you're watching this later on YouTube, maybe you're watching this to see how to put yours together. Or if you want to get it for a Christmas present for somebody, because we are at that time of the year. Two out of three finales done. Last one tonight, then holiday break with more 2 shots than I can count. You are so busy, Mike. Like, every time we chat, I find that you've got so much going on. It's impressive, really, to be honest. A few of those are just sticking a little bit more. That's okay. I'm going to use another bit of cardboard just to pop those through. And again, the key is to try and not delaminate the cardstock. We'll go on to the inside of this bit. And again, it's one of those things, you don't have to go around and blackline everything. I just like the look of it from what I've seen doing it so far. Especially when it comes to putting it on the table. I think it makes it more immersive when you can't see the cardstock lines with things like miniatures, and especially for as well with storytelling. Not that I think anybody's ever looking at the table and going, oh, I can see the cardstock lines, I'm not playing this game with you. They do that. It's like people who say they're not playing with somebody who doesn't paint their minis. Sod off. Just something for my own personal likings, really, to go around and do this. I think this stuff would be good as well if you are running a gaming club, anywhere that does things like Warhammer, Infinity, Legion, Core Space. This kind of terrain would be great for those clubs because, again, you can take it apart and flat pack it. Okay, so we've got that black lined. I'm also working on voicing my first audiobook. Wow, so is that a commissioned voiceover job, or is that a thing that you're recording your own book, you're self-publishing? What's going on there? Let us know, Mike. What I will at least do is try and go around, do the top of the crate later. Let's not just be all over the place, ADHD brain. Let's just focus on doing the ship. So, that's the roof jets. Here's the main body, actually. So, let's grab this bit we just punched out before I forget. Do the black lining on that. Okay. If I get the part, oh, amazing! Mike, I hope you do. I really do. That's very, very cool to be able to put your name to something like that. So what I like to do, and it's just something that I found, is that I only lift up like one of the corners, and then I quite firmly but fast tap where the punch hole is, just so that I can then get it apart without, hopefully, it breaking. I am going to take the windows and I'm going to put them to one side because I like the idea of being able to put those back in and block holes. So if I don't want players seeing inside something, or if I decide that, you know, I don't want to have people access that too early, then maybe that's why I'd need to put them back in. But you can put them back in place. Same with things like the doors on the buildings and structures. You can quite literally put those back in place so that you have removable windows, which I really like. I really, really like. Or I could go in and I could make some bits out of some plastic bottles and stuff and make different coloured windows. Okay, so now I have delaminated there ever so slightly, as you can see, just there. So I'm going to grab a little bit of glue, not much. Just going to glue that back down, just because I don't want to rip any more of it off, really. So there are these fold marks and lines where you can go in and fold everything up. I'm not quite fully sure of the structure yet. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that comes back around to there and like so, but I'm not going to fully fold just yet until we have all the pieces in play. So that's part of the cockpit. That's the other side of the cockpit. So let's take that bit out. Again, we're going to grab all of those little windows, going to put them to one side because I'm going to keep hold of them. I quite like them. Obviously we know that the cockpit is the nose just there, so I imagine that is going to, yeah. So we've got a fold line just there in the centre. I imagine the cockpit is going to hold most things together. be that side, that's going to be that side. Then we've got the wings, which are going to be that way round, I believe. Yes. So the big holes are going to go towards the back. Are you allowed to say what the book is, Mike? Or is it a complete sworn to secrecy? Interior brace. That looks like quite an important piece, so let's take that. Got the cockpit door. I'm just going to grab that. Punch out these tokens now. Put them to one side. 2 consoles. 1 for either side of the ship. So it's quite symmetrical, this ship, which is good, as I don't have to think too much. I'm going to leave the cockpit chair. I'm going to leave the other counters that are in there because we haven't started dropping those out. Then we're going to quick look at the picture just to make sure. Yeah, okay, so we've got left and right jet turrets, turbines, console, there we go. Looks like that one belongs in the cockpit, and then we've got boarding wall, so that'll be right at the back. These rings will go on towards the end. Right, so I'm going to leave that all to one side. We're going to try and work out how to put this together properly. So, we know that from the picture that the outside is this hexagonal sort of shape. And this, I suppose, is why they have tutorials. But I reckon we can get it. Oh, that's where the... So looking at that, I think the cockpit door actually going to hold a lot of this together. Yeah. So that's quite cool. The cockpit door just has these 2 little holes that the feet slot into, and the rest of it should all slot together. Same with the exterior, actually. We're saying that. I think you have to do one side at a time, because what I've just realised is that the interior brace structure, the rear door, and the rest of them all seem to be the same. I wonder if there's an image of the back. Yeah. So. Let's find that interior strut. I'm always worried with cardstock that I don't want to cause any rippage or tearage, but it's also, it fits together so well that you do have to be somewhat firm with it without trying to bend it. Okay, so that's that structure in place. So for somebody not following the instructions, it is somewhat fiddly. Which leaves this one. Is that far back? really potentially is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dive in just to double check how far back that door goes. Because it doesn't quite fully line up from what I'm seeing. That's probably just me. So again, it's just trying to get those feet into those little holes and then bringing the other wall into play. I think I'm pretty much there. You can tell it's worth the concentration. I've gone quiet. Oh, so the front one's at a slight angle. That's cheeky. There it is. Right. So, the actual main fuselage, that front one, is at a slight angle, which that's what was confusing me. The rest of it creates these structures that then all slot together around them. So you have the back door there again, which you can take out and put back in as you see fit. Things like the boarding ramp will go on. Okay, so we've got the main fuselage in place. Because what's then going to happen is that's going to hold the wings in place. Should make complete sense. There you go. We get there eventually. So we've got the start of the wings there. However, I probably want to put on those vents and stuff before the wings. Let's work out the cockpit. The cockpit is going to give you as well the angle that you need for the fold that's there. I'm going to go in. So there's like a hook at the top here. I'm going to put that one on first and then slot the next one in. That way it should bring itself in line rather than trying to put that in and then try and pull the hook over, because remember, it is just cardstock. There you go. That's how easy that goes together. That then goes onto the inside of those. I might glue those bits together just to give it that security. Just from my hefty fingers. Yeah, just checking over the pictures, just having a look. Definitely on the inside of those ones. So I'm going to glue that bottom edge just here. Not all the way around, just a little tack just to keep it in place. Because I found that so far putting these together, that just helps if you know that this particular thing isn't going to come apart again or you don't want it to. Just going to hold that in place for a second. I will, however, not fold down the top and glue that because I want the cockpit to be a playable interior. So, let's have a look at that console. Because now that that's in place, we can get this console in there, and it does just slot in. Like so. Right. Leaves all of that. Next up. What have we got next? Hey Dak, how you doing? We're just putting together this. This is the Patrol Class Shuttle from Battle Systems. It's an expansion to their core space game, but they've sent us out it and a load of other stuff to use as terrain for Starfinder, which is always a winner. I might have pushed too hard there. Just going to use a little bit of glue just to tack it together. Don't think I used enough the first time. Keeping it off the artwork, just to the sides. My big head keeps getting in the way, do let me know, guys. Okay, right, let's look at the next bits. So, those terminals, where are they? So we have got this picture here. I'm going to use that one there to have a quick look. They look like they are inside and against the cockpit door. I wonder if they just slot in like the other ones did. Unsure about those. There's a hole in the strut, but I don't think there is. Yeah, I think that one's going to require... Oh no, they are an exact fit. So they actually do fit in against that wall. You can just see it right down here. You just got to get them in and not be afraid to give it a little bit of push. Oh no, you had to drop out. Oh, D&D campaign stopped because somebody dropped out. That's a shame. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, Warrior Prince. Yeah, it's shit when that happens. Okay, so that's those ones in there. Let's see what we've got next. So that's part of the roof. That is your boarding ramp, which, pretty sure, there's a gap just under the door here that you can slot that into. Like so. Which is really, really cool. Or you can just have it out and about, or just lean it against things. So that's like an extra little bit, but plus you can use it as your roof. We're not going to put that one on just yet. So let's work out. So these turbines, they have these perforations, 1, 2, like all the way up them like that. I would advise not trying to bend them with your hand, simply because I did that on one of the terrain pieces from the core set. I'm going to use the edge of the table, so I can bring this down so you can see, and I'm just lining it up with the edge of the table and then using 2 thumbs with the same amount of pressure on either side just to push it slightly to create that semicircle without ripping or tearing any of the lamination and the artwork. That way we end up with a nice round. No worries, post office on. Oh, anything coming our way? Whoop. Yeah, have fun. We will see you soon. Thanks for popping by. Ooh, how is that turbine going on? So, that might be glued on. Don't see how it wouldn't be. Okay. We do also have those turbine jets. So what we'll do is we'll punch those out. We can use those to keep the structure together of this semicircular design. So I am going to glue those in. Battle Systems, if you ever end up watching this and you're like, what's this guy doing? Feel free to comment on the YouTube video or whatever and just say, hey, you know, you can do this. Or here's where a real person actually puts these things together, not this biff. So I'm just going to hold that in place. Just to create. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Not enough to create a mess, but just enough to tack it all together for these turbines, so I want it to keep its shape. I'm also going to line it up with each edge so that we've got this good shape. I'm going to do the same again on the other one before I decide to stick them to the ship. Which I've already been forgetting to do as well, is to blackline the rest of the stuff that's come off. I've got too excited to put it together, and I haven't blacklined the ship. There you go. Always making mistakes. So we'll have to go round and do that now. So we're just going to hold those together. We've got these nice two structures. Which needs a little bit longer. We've done that one, we've done those ones. Let's go around and do this in a second. Blackline all of those. And then we can stick the last of it together. So, I'm going to grab my marker pen, stop being an absolute biff. I'm just going to go around and once more, we're just going to colour in those cardstock edges. Just give it that defined look rather than the pressed cardboard layer lines. I'm not too bothered about the underside of the ship, but anywhere from the front, from the top, making sure that I am blacklining those. I think it just helps blend the artwork of each individual tile and piece of cardstock together. But if I hadn't been so excited to rush forwards and finish this and get it done, I just like playing with toys. I could have done this a lot easier beforehand. Oh well. I'm sure I'm not the only person that runs before they can walk. So let's grab front on this side. Quickly line just there. Then we're going to grab all of this cockpit. Oh, we've gone a little bit onto the front. That's not what we wanted, but we've managed to get there before it dried. So again, we're just going to use the side of that pen. Same again. Grab this top edge. Okay. So now, I need to grab these struts. I'm not too worried about that one because it'll be under the wing, but I'll do a little bit of it while we're here. I'm going to come all the way through the strut that goes through the inside, because that is a clear white line when you're looking in the ship, and I want to get rid of that. Get back to that is a lot easier to do when they're not in. Don't do what I did. If you're going to blackline your model, do it before you put it together. Like I said I was going to do. Let's grab. Those edges just there. And that one there. And we've got all of this top here, so when we take the roof off, we're going to want to not see those lines there either. And just trying not to touch any of the artwork, just trying to keep it just to that side. Especially if you are going to take photos with your minis and stuff like that. Really want to make sure it's neat. Right. Almost got the majority of it done. Across this final strut. Down this side here. So that black lining just makes it sit a little better, and I think it defines each individual area just that little bit more, which is what I'm after, and what they suggested. It was Battle Systems themselves, when they were having a chat with me. They're like, yeah, get a marker and do all this to it. So, now we've actually gone and done that, let's put the rest of it together, shall we? So, let's put our glue away. This one was, I believe, roof jet. Ooh, okay, so that's going to go onto this like so. Does that have a thing on the inside? No, so it looks like it's hollow the whole way through. How far across have they got it? Right near the front. So I am following, literally following the picture. I'm not following any instructions or anything. Just folding it against the table just to get that fold nice and tidy without ripping any of the lamination off. I'm going to line up, there's a line across that top jet, and I'm going to line that up with the secondary strut, and then I'm going to glue it into place. So I think this one does require some glue, because I can't see where there would be holes to attach this one to. So unless I misread that at the start. You could do it without the turbines and stuff like that, but I like them. Just going to line that up. Like so. You've got these little nubs and that bit there, they're going to act as the feet. I realised my tack glue earlier hasn't held together there, so I might have to redo that later, but that's fine for now. Let's get the turbines on. So we're going to go, they've got writing on them so you can tell which way round they go. Once more, we're going to grab just a little dab of glue here and there. That's going to line up just onto there. Realise that the front of that needs to be black lined as well. I can hold that in place while I glue it and do that at the same time. Come around back and do the same thing. Okay, what we'll do now, we'll do the other one first, shall we? Before we stick it on there. Make it a bit easier for myself. Right. Smells like marker pen and glue in here. It's glorious. Where did my lid go? So. Once more, just putting a few small dabs on there, nothing major. Just going to line that up with the front of the ship. There we go. So those turbines are now both in place. This thing's really taking shape. Take the consoles out for the time being. Put those back in when I'm not being all cack-handed. So, let's grab, I guess the wings need to start going on. And there's these slots just here and here. Match up with the wings. Now that the turbines are on, I don't need to worry too much about any of that. It's a nice easy job to put those on. Almost there. So the roof itself, you can just slot into place. like that. But I'm only doing it gently because obviously we want to be able to use the interior and get minis inside there. But for now, tack that in. It lines up with the wings. Have those ones there. So what's left on this sheet? We have these rings here go onto the wings. Just give it a bit more 3D effect to it. They are going to have to be glued on. Although saying that, that strut is right in the way. So it would go just there. So I am going to blackline these. And this is something I found with the consoles and the terminals. There are a few of the tables where they have these extra little corners which just add a little bit more 3D effect to them. Definitely 100% use them because they make the consoles look fucking awesome, but also blackline them first because when they then sit together you can hardly tell that they weren't one thing to begin with, and it just adds to that level of immersion that you're going to want if you are playing a game and you are blacklining things. Just helps it all blend together. Which I think for cardstock, being able to do that is such a simple, effective trick that, again, it was the guys at Battle Systems, a guy called Tom, who was like, grab a marker, do that, check out the difference, and he was completely right. Something I advise anybody who's getting into anything with Battle Systems, be it core space or any terrain building with their stuff, to do. Nope. I want to go face down then. There is also a side in which you should put things on. So I've just once more gone too far over with my dyspraxia, but where the cardstock punches in, or is punched in by the machines, it creates a rounded edge where one of the other sides will be completely flat. The flat side is the side that you want to put flush with the model. It just gives you that extra, again, seamless kind of feeling to the terrain. Put that ring right there. Same again, I'm just going to grab the flat side, add a few small dabs of glue. Doesn't need to be all that much. I'm going to get this. You can actually see on the inside where I put the black lining. It just adds to the depth of that particular area now, rather than just looking like layered up cardstock. So let's unfold that bit. So let's have a look at this chair, because there is a roof jet. Look at that. I wonder if that will slot in. We'll worry about that later. So let's grab the chair. That's what I wanted. Because there is, it says cockpit chair, but it looks like a square of the floor. There's a small ring on it. And we've got this one over here. So I wonder if I punch all of these out, if it is a stacking thing. So can we see it anywhere else other than through the windscreen? No. Okay. So we're winging this. I think that probably sits in there, and then you're able to slot the chair in and out of it. Because we have these rings, and I think they stack up to create the height. Like so. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So the chair itself has these, again, perforations across it that allows you to have the flat bottom, and then you can curve the rest of the chair to create that bucket seat. And then the actual headrest itself, once more, has a few little perforations just to bend them to create a more immersive effect. I am going to leave that one where it is. I am going to glue these together. I'm pretty sure that's what we have to do. I'm not too worried about blacklining these because they are going to be hidden by the cockpit and whatnot. I might do the edge of the chair though. That is, those ones just there. And a nice stack, like so, just to create that height. I am going to blackline the chair. So again, once more, coming in with that pen, just taking away that this is actually made of cardboard, by just clearing away those layer lines of the pressed stock, and just giving it some more definition, really. There we go. Have that sit flat. There you go. One chair. The cockpit, which then should refit back into there if needs be. There it is. So we've got a nice big base to it. So I think what we're going to do, work out how we take that in and out. So that would go there like so. I think personally I would mostly have it out because I would probably have a miniature in there if needs be, if we were going to be doing storytelling stuff. We've got this console going back in. I think that means is if I were to glue the other bit down, yeah. So I reckon if I glue this square down, then I can just put the chair in and out of that other area, and it gives us a playable space, but with that modular ability to change what we've got going on there. Should push that one right in to there. Go. Yeah. Let's then take this. Oh, you know what? Because we can open up the front like so, I am going to blackline the front of this console so that's not visible, or less visible from the front. Both the same on either side, so it doesn't matter which way in we go. I'm going to go that way up. slide all the way in. I'm just going to hold it together for a minute. And again, you can see that the black lining does make a difference to those edges. You can see like the inside of that window where I haven't done it compared to the whole front of that cockpit. It looks a lot more immersive in there. We can then redo these bits down here. That, I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to hold it together for a little bit longer just to be safe. But minus the extra little bits, like the crates. Well, the crate's done. We've got the tokens, we've got those windows, and there's 2 little extra consoles which we can choose to put in there or not. That's pretty much it. I mean, what, it's been... Mostly me blacklining is the majority of the build. The rest of it is just a case of putting it together, and that doesn't take long at all, especially for something that is versatile enough that you can, or modular enough that you can take apart bits and make it a playable interior. So we can then take that seat, we can put it back into here if needs be. Yeah, there we go. So now we've got the seat in there, which we can put in or out as we see fit. We've obviously got what could be the roof and or a boarding ramp at the back. And again, this fully playable interior with doors that you can put back in and out. Very, very cool stuff. Very happy to have Battle Systems on board as a supporter of the shows, because terrain like this is going to make a massive difference to our storytelling. I'm definitely jumping in and buying the core space stuff if this is the kind of things that we're getting, especially because the minis look fucking awesome. So that is one Patrol Class Shuttle all done and dusted. So if you've enjoyed that, please like, sub, follow, do all the usual things. Please go check out Battle Systems. There is a link that we've got into the Twitch chat, which should be pinned at the very top. If not, check the YouTube description, and there should be one in there. It's all over my link tree as well. You can find them pretty much anywhere I've got a link to something, you'll find a link to Battle Systems. That just lets them know you've come from us. We're going to close down this stream. We'll get this video uploaded to YouTube. We're going to do more. I'm really looking forward to getting into the arrival bay, which is one of the next ones that we need to do, because things like docking bays and stuff like that really get me excited. And I want to see if that's an expansion as well to the core space game. Otherwise, thank you so much to Battle Systems for sending out stuff to us. We genuinely really appreciate it. Like, anything like this helps us tell more of a story. And I mean, look at that. That's such a cute little shuttle. I think it's so perfectly sci-fi. And the fact that you don't need to paint it. That's it. That's ready to go for your tabletop now. Done. So please go check them out. Let them know you've come from us. Thank you so much, guys. May those dice cards be ever in your favour. And we will see you all tomorrow for painting up the monster manual. Take it easy now.